heard something really awful.
Welcome back to a very special edition of On the Road with BP. We, as a conglomerate, BP Incorporated, under the shell company See-Through Incorporated, in See-Through Industries, I forget at this point, have bought 40 acres up north. If you may be following the eternal struggle that is BP, you would know, because we did this on the last On the Road with BP. So we just bought 40 acres up north, wooded acres in the middle of nowhere, which we are on our way to go stake out the site of the new BP ranch, future site of BP ranch. So we're officially on the road, out of town, we'll call it. And we were just starting to sit down for a discussion. And I think that's a good place as any. Nick, say hello.
Hello.
Leon, you want to chime in here? And that's it. So go ahead and say what you were about to say, Nick.
Okay. So these guys apparently have a problem because I'm not a big fan of potatoes. The only potatoes. Yeah,
Let him finish.
The only potatoes I like are when they're cut thin enough and fried crispy enough that they don't taste or feel like potatoes anymore.
That's a chip. That's not.
He likes potato chips?
Chips, fries,
all right.
hash browns when they're well done.
All right.
But like big chunks of baked potato, not a fan. Potato skins are properly done, cheese, peppers, bacon, so good.
Well, I guess that doesn't taste like it. I've just never heard anybody say they don't like potatoes before. Was actually the shocking thing to me.
Don't like potatoes.
That's a strange
potatoes
one.
are good.
Mashed potatoes?
I mean, if you add enough butter and cheese and other shit to it that they no longer taste like mashed potatoes, sure.
All right.
That so counts as a mashed potato.
Well, I mean, that's basic.
Yeah. When they don't taste like potato.
All right. So that wasn't
Fried.
as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
But like baked potatoes, big chunks, not a fan.
All right. What? Twice baked potatoes? That's like mashed potatoes you
I
make.
have literally eaten mostly potatoes for the past month.
It's true. How's that going?
Pretty good. I think I'm actually down a couple pant sizes. My pants are a little bit looser.
Are you sick of any of the condiments you've been eating it with?
So you mean barbecue sauce, ketchup, or ranch? Or cheese?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're branching out much.
No.
It's like a different one every day, right? 5 days a
I'm
week.
tired of eating more salsa.
Salsa, all right. A lot of tomato-based stuff there. Tomatoes, huh? I'm not a big fan, especially cooked tomatoes. I mean, I could do a nice bolognese maybe. It doesn't go much farther than that for me. Chili. I like to put tomatoes in stew, but I think that's about as far as my cooked tomatoes go. Pizza.
And salsa. You like peas.
Oh, I guess that's true. That's very true.
You love peas, right?
Yeah, the mild, I'm forced to get mostly. Just because, you know, anything with any flavor in it isn't welcome in my house. So yeah, paste is pretty good. Paste specifically. I've had a lot of bad salsas. And it's probably like, what's that, pico? I don't like pico.
Pico de gallo?
Pico de gallo?
That's just chopped up onions and tomatoes and cilantro.
Yeah, it's like a salsa, but it hasn't been stewed or processed properly. It's like a poor man's salsa.
Onions, tomato, and cilantro.
Yeah, I don't like
the
it.
cilantro is always so strong, and they're fresher vegetables. Like Jake was saying, they haven't been cooked.
Yeah, they're not stewed. The flavors haven't set or come together.
I don't like pico de gallo either.
Yeah, I'm not a big pico
I
guy.
like salsa or hot sauce.
Salsa's good. Lane ends, merge right. Better let me in, fucker. Perfect. Uh-oh. I almost pushed 2.5 on that one. We're pretty loaded down.
Yeah.
Nobody thought we could do it, but man, you should see. We're probably stacked 10 feet tall. There were doubters. Even amongst us, there were doubters.
Just me.
Time for the boo box. New Mexico stopped on the side of the road.
never coming back. It didn't go away because of regulations or some nonsense like that. It went away because natural gas is cheaper.
So why don't you just nationalize mining, take all those poor, uneducated coal miners and move them out to Nevada and dig up all that lithium, since they already know how to mine, and then use that to sell that lithium overseas and use that profit to fund the government. And then you could offset all the taxes that people pay by the government selling things overseas. And then that's how you fund the government instead of taxing people. Then everybody wins, poor people and rich people.
The only way we could get away with not taxing people is if we got rid of our military industrial.
Well, we don't have to get rid of it, but we could probably downsize it a little bit.
Probably
Scale
not.
it down a whole lot.
Maybe not a whole lot, but you cut 25, 30%. I mean, that goes to fund a lot of the government.
We could spend a lot more efficiently.
Yeah.
And make some cuts out of it.
You could cut 20% and you could fund every socialist wild dream and then still have 80% of your military. And then
How much does an M1 Abram cost?
I don't know, Bill?
No. Yeah, they're like,
20 million?
yeah.
Half a bill?
Low double-digit millions, I think.
Nah.
Might be high single-digit millions.
I guarantee you, Jake, they're not cheap.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
One tank.
I can't wait until they start realizing. You know how they like to bitch about the good old boys, how they wouldn't drive an electric or a hybrid. They need their good powerful truck that the Army has. The Army's new Hummer is a battery-operated vehicle.
The Army's new
Army
tank?
Abrams
Yeah.
is a hybrid vehicle,
Yeah, because they said it can run quieter off the batteries.
and it might actually get into miles per gallon instead of gallons per mile. But they also need the power for all of the like fancy electronic shit that's in it.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're significantly less than I thought as far as price.
Yeah.
You get a deal when you buy a bunch.
The economy of scale. That's why one of my biggest things that I disagree with Obama about was stopping the production of the F-22.
Obama.
Should have, at minimum, completed that contract.
Save us, Obama.
He has to get over. No.
I don't know. He does seem awfully close, doesn't he?
Go past him.
I'm trying. I don't want to go flying through here, though.
Yeah.
Because this is like active construction, even though I haven't seen one single speed limit sign. I said there's people just right back there.
Yeah,
That's not beautiful.
I've noticed a couple guys around.
Yeah, because this seems like active construction, but it looks like we're through it. Maybe. I hope they're going all the way out here. That would be great. Looks like they're putting a turnaround in.
Yeah. So the Air Force has to be the Dragon's something. But basically it's pallet stacked Tomahawk missiles that are airdropped and launched from the back of the C-130.
Okay.
They literally cut out the middleman to dropship things.
All right, 75. I'm going 70. So I guess we can give a little more gas, but looks good.
Like that, and a B1 and launch that way. It's like, no.
What happened to all the traffic?
You beat it.
I got ahead of it?
You won the traffic game.
There was some traffic behind me. That's why I got over, but nobody seems willing to pass me. I feel like that all the time.
Well, I mean, people have a habit of using the other cars around them to like
Well, no,
regulate.
I just started to panic too because I was like, where is it?
There is no traffic in front of us. As far as I can see, I can't see another car.
I can see.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I guess it's only a few thousand feet.
Half a mile.
These people better start getting in front of me, because I'm going to move over. I feel like keeping it a little slower than normal just because we're so heavily packed.
That's a good idea. I'm really glad that I didn't need to take my car. I was totally gonna do it,
No.
regardless of what happened to it after it was parked. But I'm glad that we don't have to.
We were also looking into renting a bigger truck. We're in the Mark 1, aka the Boy Racer, only by me. And Boy Racer's pretty tight in the back.
You are?
Not a lot of space.
Are you talking about yourself?
Well, I guess this is something that me and the truck have in common. A big 6, tight in the rear.
Both finish quick.
Right? Always coming up from behind. Boy Racer coming up the rear. A lot of rear play. Why is it always butt stuff? I mean,
So there's no cars today for the trip. What? No cars.
no cards.
That's a problem.
This year we've opted out of an asshole tournament. Since
And no cars.
no cards. We don't want to be tempted.
Oh,
We didn't have the space for one deck of cards.
I almost grabbed my silver thing.
We actually have a box full of it. Yeah, I purposely didn't want to take it.
I almost threw that in my bag, but there just wasn't quite space.
Yep.
Just tossed them in the
Kept them in your pocket.
No, it was a big silver case that had a bunch of chips and cards.
Yeah, what
It
can
was a
you
full
do?
poker set. I got it
Down the front of your pants.
either at a work raffle or a white elephant game at my family Christmas thing or somewhere. I don't know. It's never got used once.
Yeah, maybe next time. That'd be great.
Yeah, I couldn't afford to now because I've been spending a lot of money to do it. But one of the things I'm going to buy for one of these trips is I also want it in my backyard is a telescope.
Yeah, you were saying that. Take that camping as well.
Yeah. And I like space.
Okay.
Space.
I do too. I feel like I was born a generation too early.
I
Should have been a space cowboy.
I feel like we're like 2 or 3 decades behind where we should
Probably. It all went to defense funding instead of space exploration. NASA was something like 2% of the budget or something. If that would have kept up, we would have been on Mars, but
be. Okay.
colonized Mars, but colonized it. We would be spending, I can only imagine, $1 trillion. The amount of money, even, it would be ridiculous. We would probably have space stations around Mars
If what?
if the NASA budget would have kept up.
If it stayed at the 2%.
Yeah, if it stopped being, they cut it all for boomers and defense
Military.
spending, yeah. So now it's a fraction of a percent
So
of
where
what it
does all
used
the
to be.
money for Space Force go?
I don't even know if that's a real thing. I've never seen, like, they talked about it a little bit, right, when it first
They
came
made a
out,
funny show about it?
and then I haven't heard or seen or anything.
So the Air Force has always been responsible for space, and they have. Like,
Well, because
space units.
that's what I thought, that there was already a branch that did space stuff.
The Space Force is just part of the Air Force.
So it's like,
It should be
It's the same people doing the same shit. Like one of their jobs is they fly the planes and carry the missiles that will shoot down a satellite if we ever need to shoot down a satellite.
I think that the Space Force would be like the Navy.
because the ships would be like boats,
Yeah, because the ships
would be like
boats.
ships.
Yeah.
Only submarines.
Okay, so it'd be like
Regular
space
naval
submarines.
ships aren't really close enough. Flying an aircraft is more similar. But submarines, because they have to deal with the pressure inside rather than like that's the same shit.
The Navy. Because then we would have had the Imperial Navy.
It'd be both.
Or
They will be. Well, once we build actual
Space Force.
spaceships rather than space planes,
Okay.
always what we build now, it will be more Navy than Air Force. But right now, like the space shuttle's a giant fucking thing. You just ride a rocket up and you fly a plane.
Okay.
It's the same thing with the other ones. That's why they recruit so heavily from the Air Force. Because it's more in common. But if we actually build like a ship that like
Black Canyon
works
City.
on that never enters atmosphere.
This is called Speed Trap City. Get over it.
crazy.
And that's what I would be working on. If I was a billionaire that was doing space shit, I wouldn't just be putting up satellites and contracting shit out. Or what's the other guy want to do? Tourist shit.
Yeah.
I would be looking to build infrastructure. Like, so I literally launch ships that are going to deploy things that will now build shit up there. Then start working on big building.
Start your moon base.
I probably wouldn't ever go on the moon. Zero G. It'd be,
Zero G or nothing.
one of the range points. Just go sit somewhere gravitationally neutral and just chill. But then yeah, it would be building things to mine and things for like producing production back.
Well, you know
birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real, excuse me. Airplanes can't really fly.
You know what doesn't make sense about that? So what happened to all the birds like they talk about in like history or whatever? Have birds always been spy devices for the government, even like 2,000 years ago? Don't they talk about them in the Bible?
Yes, they absolutely do. When Noah's Ark,
yeah, right, because it's like a dove or something.
Days of rain,
brings like an olive branch of freedom,
and that's how they knew that there was dry land somewhere. It's not a myth.
So was that?
Oh, so God's a mass murderer.
Well, obviously that he. Why'd he kill all those poor babies?
He's not only a mass murderer.
Drowned all those poor babies.
And he aborted all of the unborn babies.
Well, he murdered them.
What he did to the kids in Egypt.
All the firstborn fucking sons of Egypt.
Pharaoh, yeah, that's by definition.
Better have some goat's blood handy.
An act of mass murder.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
God is a mass murdering terrorist.
How could you do that? You're gonna kill a bunch of poor innocent babies?
Yeah.
I don't see why they have such a problem with abortions either. Because if you read your Bible, Numbers 5:21 through 24 says something to the effect of, if you believe your wife is unfaithful, you take her to the priest, and he'll give her a bitter drink.
Yeah.
And if she has been unfaithful, her stomach will swell, and her legs will shrivel, and she will abort the child. Priest done abortions in the Bible.
That's biblically sanctioned.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Abortions are biblically sanctioned. It says it in the Bible. I mean, the priests used to do it. So it's like, you don't get much more sanctioned by the fucking church than that, right?
What it says in the Bible should have no bearing on the laws that we have.
So you're doing God's work.
Yeah. God's word. And if she was faithful, nothing happens. So.
Yeah, but if we're going by what the Bible says,
Well, that is what the
slavery
Bible
was
says.
good.
Yeah, there's like
just as long as they're not from your country, they have to be from your neighbors.
there's
Thank you, BP. It's been,
there's chapters on how to treat your slave in the Bible.
Yeah.
There's probably books of it, but I know at least chapters. It's crazy. Why would you do that? How could you slave? You know, they make a funny argument about the founding of America being a very libertarian ideal. And I find two funny things with that, right? One is it was founded by slave owners. So libertarians and their individual freedom, I don't see how they could conflate the two with our founding fathers who owned slaves. So much for individual freedom. But also their whole founding mantra for the whole thing was no taxation without representation. So it's like they didn't have a problem with taxes either. That's like the whole reason. It's not that they pay taxes that's the problem. It's that they're not represented when they do. It's like libertarians, man. They're just like religious people. High school dropout equivalent education. It doesn't make sense.
What are you talking about? Trumpers?
Trumpers, religious people. What was that other one I just said? Libertarians?
Wonderful story about a city somewhere in the northeast, I think. There's a town that basically libertarians took over, got elected, came in charge.
Yeah.
And because they wouldn't do shit, they ended up with so many problems to the point where they were getting eaten by bears. Because people wouldn't stop feeding the bears, and no one would clean up the
That guy's going
garbage.
slow. What's going on here?
It failed utterly.
It sounds like libertarians. Sounds like libertarians all day.
It sounds like a joke about a
It also sounds like a libertarian.
I mean,
Right? Get it failed utterly.
yeah.
Sorry. I'll show myself out.
If only. We could really use the space.
No, it's cartwheel out of it. It's always been cartwheel out of it.
We watched an episode of Cops when we were children, and it was somebody in Florida, and to escape the police, he jumped off of an overpass into an empty river, and the overpass was like, I don't know, 20, 30 feet up, and he just like, fuck you pigs, and just like darted to the edge and just jumped right over, and then the cop jumped as well, which I thought was hilarious. But he saw that it was like a 30-foot fall and grabbed onto the edge, and then his partner pulled him back up. And then they went down, and the guy was like trying to run away. And so we were making a joke about how you just cartwheel out of it. So as you fall, you just tumble, and then when you hit the ground, all your force goes sideways because you're tumbling.
I don't know that's how inertia works, but it works for him.
Well, I mean, he got up and tried to run.
Yeah.
So we didn't see how he landed, but I'm assuming it was something like that.
Just been adrenaline, but
I'm going to flip this around so people can see the fields of flowers that we're driving through.
how beautiful.
I don't know where you think you're going. Oh, in front of me. All right. I see. It's my fault because I leave too much space in front.
Yeah.
And I'm being extra cautious because we're so heavily packed. I'm afraid if I hit the brakes, we're not going to stop.
We might stop.
They're performance brakes. So you'd hope that they would stop.
I would hope that all brakes are performance brakes.
These ones are
Because you don't
smash.
want them to not perform.
Exactly. Especially when you try maneuvers like I do. We're going to try something different this year. This time, we'll say. Where we're going to try to do a video of the road out to where we're the future side of BP Range. So I got some elastic bands, hair ties, and I hair tied the phone to the stand in hopes that we can record the ride up there, so everybody can get an idea what we're working in. It's like 12 miles off the highway. First mile's paved. Next 10 miles are completely flat, beautiful dirt roads. Any car can drive down. It's only that last mile that gets you. So we're going in a different way. We didn't want to. We were going to try driving out this way the last time we came, but we didn't come under ideal conditions.
No.
You may remember from our last video. So we opted to go back the way we came, since we knew we could get out there, for sure, since we got in. So we didn't get to check the top way or the other way in, which we're doing this trip. So we're hoping this way's a little bit easier, but it's kind of what we're working with. Crackers. Cracker. So we'll see how it works. I like this elastic bands holding it down, but as I look at it more and more, since I'm driving, it doesn't look like it's actually banded to anything.
What's banded? What? Elected.
Yeah.
As
No,
a senior.
not just re-elected.
Well, no, I mean, but if you're like 60 and you get elected, you can serve your 4 years
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah, because you're already elected.
but you can't get re-elected.
Okay, so you want to reiterate your point real quick?
Okay, so one of the things that I think would help with American politics, with our problems in this country, is that once you hit retirement age,
And that's the age you collect Social Security, you're saying?
yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Once you hit that age, you can no longer be elected to office.
You can no longer be allowed to represent the people?
Yeah. Well, no, you can finish your term if you've already been elected,
I don't like that.
but you
I like
cannot run again, and you cannot run new. You
The
cannot
day
be
you
elected.
turn of age, you're out of office.
No, you should be able to get to finish your term because the people, in theory, the people that elected you knew you would hit this age while in office, so they accept that. You just can't run again.
I don't know how I like that. Because what if they're like right at the edge, right? Like, oh, I'm about to turn 67 or whatever the age is, let's say. And then like the day after they turn, and then they get 4 years or 6 years in that position.
Yeah,
No,
but
too
otherwise,
much.
well, then you run the risk of someone getting elected, having that 1 year, and then someone in the state getting to appoint someone until the next election.
Well, it'll be somebody of the same party. You can do runoff elections or
That's
something.
assuming you have things like the
Special
governor and the
elections.
person that was elected being from the same party.
I think it's a lot of state constitutions have it written in. I believe Arizona's like that. So say one of our senators isn't allowed to finish their term, it has to be somebody from the same party that gets the position. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised they haven't tried to change that.
Oh, I'm sure they have. But we have a really great thing written into the Constitution where whenever the legislature wants to change a law like that, the people have to vote on it. And so they have a term for it. I already forget what it's called.
It's like our legislature wants to be able to veto our ability to put laws.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ballot
Ballot
initiatives.
initiatives. So yeah. They have a special term for it though. And so they want to change the rules too to make it so instead of getting a certain percentage of the overall voters, you have to get a certain percentage of the overall voters in each county for it to count. So say you wanted to put marijuana legalization on the ballot, right? You'd have to go to every individual county in Arizona and you'd have to get a majority, you'd have to meet a certain threshold. So say you have an ultra conservative county, you can't make the threshold there, the whole initiative is thrown out.
But this is what's wrong with that. Is that means that those shitty little people that live in like
those small rural counties, and that's exactly why they do it, because they know those poorly educated rural voters that are disproportionately favored, dumb yokels, would their votes, just like in the electoral college we have now, those dumb yokels are favored 2-to-1, 2.5-to-1 in some cases.
Yeah, it depends on the state.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it's stupid. One man, one vote.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. Every other election in our entire country.
A political scientist who lives in California should not have their vote be lessened by some,
high school dropout?
Toothless redneck that didn't even go to high school in Arkansas.
Exactly. You nailed it right on the head. That is exactly why. And that's why the day you turn of retirement age, you're done. Because you don't represent us anymore. Simple as that. The day before, just to make sure you don't push something off at midnight or whatever. No 11th hour bullshit.
Does it seem like there's a lot of new housing here?
There's a ton.
Why?
Because you're 40 minutes from town?
So this is where they're counting on all of the people from Phoenix moving when they're
retired. You saw that 55 plus retirement sign back there?
I did, and I thought that was weird.
And it's so much more temperate here. So think about this. I've said this before. This is like the Rye effect. So you're just a couple thousand feet in elevation above Phoenix, right? So all of a sudden you get less highs and less lows or whatever. The band is a lot more narrow, more in the tolerant or temperate range.
Yeah.
So you're not pushing triple digits. So you're only going to have a handful of days a week in a month that you actually have to run an AC. And then the transverse will be true in the winter. There'll only be a 1 week in the winter, 2 weeks in the winter. You're even going to have to run your fucking AC. Or, I'm sorry, your heater. Because it's never going to be that cold. You're in like the Goldilocks fucking zone. And there's nothing out here. And so you're not really it's not super high demand land.
It's funny, the sky looks fake in your phone.
It's beautiful skies. We just stopped to stretch our feet, get a quick bite to eat, and it's 20 degrees cooler than it is in the valley. Windy. There ain't shit out here. But you can't call it forlorn. It's not like the trip to Tucson. You drive to Texas. Oof. Yeah. You never see so many dust devils in your life. You go through 50 miles where it's like extreme dust storms likely.
And flat?
Oh yeah.
Flat, open, and nothing. Empty.
See the most depressing cows of your life in Las Cruces. New Mexico. It looked bad. The cows look greasy. And you could see their bones and shit. Like through their hips and their ribs. And I was like, I had never seen a cow like that before. It looked like one of those pigeons that's outside the Panda Express.
Were they longhorns?
They were black. I don't know.
They're black anus?
I don't know. I remember they were black and white. Mostly black. I didn't get to look very well because I was driving. But I remember the couple of glances I stole. I was like, ooh, you wouldn't want to eat that.
Long ride. Yep.
And see, look, you got a little town, right? And then if you really need anything, you're only 20 minutes from Prescott, which kind of counts as a city. They got a Home Depot and a Walmart.
There's a gun store.
All right, so we're gonna be hopping off the freeway here, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much longer we got?
Half a mile.
That's
So am I taking a right?
Yeah.
Okay.
in that restaurant, that Mexican food place.
Yeah.
It's called Donut Hole.
Is it Mexican donuts?
No, it just says Donut Hole Mexican food.
Oh, you know, we're actually right outside of Prescott because I've been here. I want to say there's a gun store back there.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch of ammo right at the beginning of the pandemic, right when they opened stuff up for travel. So when I came up here, they literally had no idea that there was an ammo shortage because nobody had been traveling, and they had so much ammo and they were selling it so cheap. I bought a ton of ammo up here, lots of buckshot and slugs for like 50 cents a piece.
Nice.
Yeah, 9mm. With that weird 223 I kept finding, the green tip stuff, I want to say it was.
That's
Did you bring those critical defense rounds?
For which one?
The 10 milli.
No, I didn't bring. I got 30 rounds for the 10mm is what I brought. Maybe one box, but I don't think I brought any boxes.
I gave you those critical defense rounds, right?
You probably did, but when I was pulling things out to leave behind, it did not make the cut.
Yeah, those things look super vicious.
Yeah.
Hornady?
What's that?
Hornady critical defense?
That's the one that's got the little spike in the middle?
It's got the spike in the middle, but it's got a
It's a
nylon
hollow
tip.
point.
Yeah, ballistic tip. Yeah, that's
Crazy. I wanted to see
those are
what that would
generally
do.
pretty.
Yeah, and they're probably like $2 a round.
Those are considered usually pretty good.
They were 30
Most tests I've seen.
something dollars for 25.
expansion.
I want to say.
10mm is a hot round.
Is that a buck and a half?
Roughly.
How much?
I know the 9mm were like 30 something dollars.
Oh my God! See, that's crazy. You come up here and you're getting $12 a box. You know?
But
Well,
these were the critical defense.
Yeah,
ones.
hollow points are more expensive.
Yeah, I know.
I pay about
Is this us? Wind song?
70 cents a round on hollow points.
Okay.
It says
And that's 45 ACP, and it's Ranger T series. It's what used to be Black
Okay.
Talons.
oh, you went past it. I'm sorry.
All right. Do you have the volume on?
Otherwise, for like 9mm for non-hollow points, like 25 cents a round is a good deal.
What
If I'm
happened? Did we
20
miss it?
I guess I turned the sound down or something.
So what's it saying?
It's rerouting.
Okay.
I think we'll just take the next right.
All right.
It's going to take us the way we went last
Yeah,
time.
it looks like it. I have this theory, driving through these small towns, it hops you off the highway, right? And then makes you drive right through the middle of this podunk-ass town, and then puts you on another freeway. And it really just meets up a couple miles down the road anyway. So these little towns, they'll pay Google how much ever money, and it'll just redirect drivers through their town. Just so they have all the...
Oh, you went past Fane Road is why.
All right, so what's it saying?
Well,
Just
I
a
mean,
moment.
that's why we're on this route, is you went past Fane. Just take the next right, yeah.
Okay.
You are the co-pilot, Dan.
Just keep the volume on. Should be fine.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Center Court.
This feels like this is the way we went last time.
I guess it's not the next one.
It's the next one, probably. I think that was the one we went on last time. So I think this is Prescott Valley, right? And then that and Prescott actually touch, but they're two separate towns.
Yeah, all right.
Tips, huh?
That's, I think, basically how it is.
Just the tip.
Because as you come around the highway up here, I think it becomes Prescott. And what this
Turn
does...
right onto Center Court.
Is that Center Court?
The light, I think.
So what this does is it drives us up to Prescott. And what going on this...
In 1,000 feet.
No, that was
Turn
Center
right.
Court, but it's just trying to make us go to a little
800
shopping
feet,
center.
Use the right lane to turn right onto North Glassford Hill Road.
What the fuck? This town.
It's this town, I'm
Use the
telling
right
you.
lane to turn right onto North Glassford Hill Road.
It's these little ass towns,
Take the
Dave.
next right onto North Glassford Hill Road.
But even this road, this seems like this is the way we went last time.
This was the way we went last time. I bet all these roads look exactly the same.
Continue
Oh look,
on North
the visitor
Glassford
center.
Hill Road for
Look at
4
where
miles.
look at where we just happened to pull out in front of. I'm telling you. And so how far was this from all that new build we just saw? 10 minutes?
I remember driving by the Mod Pizza last time.
And this is basically a little city.
Mod Pizza's good.
Buffalo Wild Wings, they got a theater, Harkins, a bank.
A Wendy's.
There's your Wendy's.
Wendy's is another one that's nice and consistent.
And I mean, imagine what this costs compared to the city.
Firehouse Subs. They have a Panda. Wow.
Ooh, Panda E.
Moving up.
Check's Cash Place. Nice. Some land for lease, some buildings for lease. I actually looked at some buildings out here,
It
actually
looks
for
like-
lease.
It looks like they're investing a lot of money into this.
It's all those Build Back Better Biden stuff. This is all that infrastructure stuff they were talking about. Where all these little towns could pull out all this money to build stuff, basically. All this touristy crap, because that's what our economy is based off of. Remember when COVID happened and everything went out of business because nobody was traveling? That's as our country just drives in a big circle. It's hilarious. It feeds off of itself. It's beautiful. I think they put something in the water too, because I have a strong desire to vacation, but I never want to leave the country. So it's like, how many places in America can I go? Everything's like oddly named here too. Advanced Auto Parts, Home Improvement Center. It's like the generic versions. Maverick. That ain't right.
Maverick?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. So, we're on Lakeshore Drive. Do you see a lake?
I bet if you zoomed out far enough, there's probably a man-made one.
Yeah, I was going to say that same thing. They're probably making it somewhere.
Yep. That big-ass housing community they're building over there. I would never let the girls get into something like that. They went to Lake Havasu, and I wouldn't let them get in the water.
Alliance Home Improvement. That is so weird.
So I'm saying it's all like the generic names.
Maybe it's not a generic name. Maybe it's a nationwide company. And
It just stops before it hits Phoenix, the
Haven't
fifth
hit
largest
Phoenix
city
yet.
in America. I almost said the world.
It's probably locally owned and operated.
Yeah, look at this housing complex. All those California mansions, huh? They're really packed in, aren't they? Those look like duplexes or something.
If I was going to move out here, I'd want at least a big piece of land and a big fucking house.
Yeah, but think about it like this. So you live in California, right? And California is just, one of the greatest places in the world, but nobody wants to live there. So you sell your 2-bedroom, 1-bath for like 2.2 mil, all right? You move out here and you buy 10 acres with a mansion on it for like 400 grand outright. And then you just got like 1.8 to live off of. You'd be making 80, 90 grand a year just living off the fucking return on investment. Be like, you know what? I'm just gonna retire. I'm gonna go to Prescott Valley, which don't knock it too hard, because you now own land in essentially Prescott Valley. So you're like, oh, it's such a shithole. Oh, I hate all the people out here. Oh, it's awful. So I bought 40 acres right outside of town.
we love you, Prescott.
We live in Brazil.
Jesus, look at all Jesus.
Yeah, that is a lot. A sea of fucking roofs, huh?
Yeah.
And there's not a lot out here. So imagine how busy that little downtown area we just drove through is.
Well, what supports all of these houses? How many jobs? Like, where are these people working? What
The
are they
city.
doing?
They drive to the city. What's this commute? 45 minutes? An hour on a bad day? You live anywhere else in America, you're going to have that kind of commute. Simple as that. You could live out here like a king.
Yeah. We drive out to
Driving.
Prescott for golf in the summer.
Exactly.
It's not a bad drive.
It's an hour. Especially if you can work remotely. I couldn't do it. I would hate that. But
Your job would be tough to do remotely.
it would be impossible.
I didn't say possible.
No, it would be, because my job is very hands-on. It's all mechanical. So you can't, it's literally the one thing you can't do
You're a
remotely.
masseuse, right?
Close. I massage,
Happy ending.
I massage equipment
No. Yeah,
with a
call it
happy
what you
ending.
will.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's going to be a right or left up here.
Let's get left.
Okay. Onto that highway?
Yep.
Yep. I think this is where we came up last time. This looks like exactly the same.
Except I remember a lot of these houses.
Well, there's no way they built them in 6 weeks. We were probably the next street over, and it just looks the same. But that is a lot of fucking housing. Holy shit.
Look how short the walls are.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, because if your wall
In a
faces the
quarter
street,
mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto the Arizona 89A South ramp to Prescott.
if your wall faces the street, it's only allowed to be 3 feet high or something like that. That's all zoning ordinance. We were looking, the wall has to be set back a certain distance. It has to be so low. There's a bunch of things.
Those are the backs of people's houses.
It doesn't matter. It's the wall that faces the street.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto the Arizona 89A South ramp.
They have these houses that they built over on Broadway. I want to say, look at this little guy. Stay out of my lane, buddy.
In half a mile,
I would take
merge
that
onto
over
Arizona
Toyota.
89A South.
I don't think that was a
That's
Toyota.
fucking cool as shit car.
It looked fun.
It's I think those are T100s, right?
What was that, like a 3-banger?
I don't know. They're super efficient on gas, though.
Yeah,
it
but
probably is a 3-banger.
what are you top speeding on that? You could be lucky to do
Probably
freeway
64.
speeds. I bet you couldn't even do highway speeds.
I bet you they'd surprise you and do 75.
That's a cop on the phone.
Nice.
What is?
That white Chevy,
It says
whatever.
Gibbons on his license plate.
No,
I
that's
believe.
not. It's-
I swear to God, that looked like a fucking cop. He was wearing a bulletproof vest.
Maybe he's paranoid.
And here's the thing, it's undercover. That's why it says Gibbons. It starts with a G, government plate.
Dun, dun, dun.
He was full-blown ass on the phone. I saw him holding it to his face.
Remember, people, grab that license plate. Call him in.
Call him in.
We're in Prescott Valley.
Well, the important thing is that you report on police.
Yep.
You have to keep them honest. That's why all police wear body cams. And look at what it's done. All of a sudden, there's a lot less police rapes and a lot less accusations of police stashing drugs and shit. You notice a lot of those numbers also fell, which I thought was kind of funny. All of a sudden, they're not finding as much crack in people's trunks once they start wearing body cameras. So I was actually talking to a police officer, and they have a third form of time off. They also call it comp time. And they get it for working over, and they get quite a bit of it. And I have my suspicions that part of it too is cops, you can't say, oh, you make this much in tickets, you get more money.
In
You
2
get a
miles,
bonus,
take exit 317 for Arizona 89 toward I-40 Prescott.
right? Because, that would incentivize them, and it would look really bad in front of the general public. Because they're enriching themselves, yes. So what you do is you give them PTO. And cops, they have a different retirement plan where all their PTO counts towards their pension. So they could earn essentially paid time off. And if they don't use it, it fluffs out their pension. So it is directly enriching them. in at least one way. You know what else too about this Gibbons here is he can't keep it in the lines. If I was
on the phone. He's probably texting.
If I was a police officer and I saw him cross the line as many times as he did right there, again, yeah, a few times, I would definitely have pulled him over for driving suspiciously. For sure. Change, yeah, lane change without signaling. At least he's only doing 5 over. Well, I guess it depends. Does this look like it's 55? Or does it look like it's 60? Does it say on your phone?
Take exit 317 for Arizona 89 toward I-40 Prescott.
No.
All right, Gibbons is going another way. Oh, no. Did he just change lanes again?
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Must be nice.
Take exit
Out
317.
of traffic.
Must be nice.
Gonna chill behind him for some more.
In a quarter mile, keep right at
We
the
should
fork.
flash our
Follow
lights
signs
at
for
him and pull
Airport
him
Chino
over.
Valley.
We saw you drift over the lane
Citizens at rest.
and making a couple of illegal lane changes back there. Are you okay? Have you been doing any drugs today? Have you been drinking? All right, so what did it say?
Take a right.
Take a right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep right at the fork.
The 89 proper.
All right, to the 40.
Look at the cop.
Is he on the phone?
Officer.
I couldn't see a vest.
Continue
But
for
that was
half a
definitely a
mile.
cop style hat.
Tell me that wasn't a cop.
He was either a cop or someone that really admires
Or
the police.
likes to pretend to be a cop.
Yeah.
What the fuck the police?
Fuck the police, fuck the police, fuck.
In a quarter mile, at the traffic circle, take the second exit and stay on State Highway 89 North.
All right. 89 proper. I don't know how I feel about these traffic calmings. Usually you don't have to stop. I do like that. But they feel a bit foreign. So they're kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
It's just a way to monitor traffic like this in larger, busier areas without putting in a street light.
Well, and like I said, you don't always have to stop. So if you think about it like if it was a stop sign.
Exit the traffic
street
circle
light.
onto State Highway
Or a street
89
light, yeah.
North. Continue on State
They
Highway
cause less
89 North for
accidents,
3/4 of a mile.
They do. Oh, they
Is it gonna
cause
be a
less
left or a right?
accidents, and it's
It's going more straight. It's just
Oh,
telling you
okay, that's
roundabout
another,
roundabouts.
another roundabout.
Yeah.
It just, it's odd.
We're on the 89
It's not what we're used to.
until
I don't mind
it.
them. It's
That
just-
doesn't mean it's not
Until
Until we
Ash-
get to the 40.
Ashford.
Remember,
Yeah, because the 89 and the 40.
always go right.
That's where
and
Ashford
always yields
is.
to the circle.
It's like
Never have any problems.
Jake always says.
I think that's actually one of the golf courses. What does Jake say?
What does Jake say? Which one? Jake says a lot of things.
About doing something that doing something a certain way that's always been done.
Oh, just because they say that's the way it's always been
Yes.
done, that automatically makes me want to do it different.
See?
Yeah,
That's why
that
traffic calmings might not be a bad idea.
they might not be. Like I said, I like them on the one hand because you don't have to stop all the time. So that already feels like it moves it better. But on the other hand, there's things about it I don't like because it feels foreign to me, and so it's a bit off-putting.
You'll get used to them.
Well, I feel like I've been driving on for a long time, and every time the problem I think I have with them is I feel like I know how they work, no problem, but I don't feel like other people know how they work.
Always go right. Always yield to the circle.
Yeah, and you got it, and you probably do great in them. But I've seen a lot of people like change lanes and make crazy, just like all kinds of stuff.
No, it was going to be big trouble with China. You know what Jake Whitaker always says, but I totally like that. And I just like.
That would be a good one.
What?
We were talking about doing some classics, remember?
Oh no, we can't do that.
We were talking about doing Jurassic Park, and then there's another one that we constantly reference that for some reason I can't remember the name of. We'd have to go and listen to our last one right at the end. Oh yeah, yeah. It was because we just reference it all the time. is the thing. Like every single time we do a watch along, we reference it, which I think is funny. You should do one of the watch alongs with us, Nick.
It's not Postman, is it?
It might be
The
Postman.
ill-fated Postman.
The disastrous Postman. It was so close. If we could have got that to work, like I said, we'll try again. We'll do.
That would have been cool.
We'll do Dances with Wolves or the Robin Hood movie, and we'll try it again.
I think the Robin Hood movie would be better.
Maybe we'll try it with the lights on. You know, because maybe the blackout frame is doing it bad. I was thinking of maybe getting some music and embedding a track of music to kind of throw off the sound part. You know what I mean? Because I can make it one audio track that would be the movie and a song. So, you know, and then with our voices on top of
I
it,
still think you should just do the sync thing.
like we have been doing.
Yeah.
But like I said, I like that. It's easy, and you know, it works out fairly well. But I think we'd be able to reach a lot more people. A lot more people would be willing to watch it if they could watch the movie at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That first one, we're just,
Yeah, but that's...
even if we don't monetize it, that's what I was hoping, that we could just not monetize it and just get away with it. You know, and then play that angle, like, you know, all the stuff. Like I made that little intro for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was hoping we could do. And like I said, I'd love it. I would do it just to have people listen to it. You know, just to bring people in. To be like, okay, we don't get monetized for this. You don't get monetized for anything with guns in it. I'd still love to do a bunch of gun stuff. You know? But, you know, even if people are just watching it, I don't care. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the love of the game.
I forgot my lemonade.
You brought some lemons, though, right?
If you get like it's like $50 a year or something like that, you can write off any expenses. It's tax deductible.
That'd be great. I meet all the criteria except for one. I think I need more subscribers or something like that. I forget what it is exactly.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. One of the things I'm going to be trying to do when I start streaming is just $50 a year. That's all. I don't care. $50 a year, so I can any expense I spend, buy a new chair, buy a new graphics card, buy a new computer monitor, any of that, tax deductible, and it's tax deductible from my other job as well.
Nice.
Because that's the way it works. They don't care if your business is doing well, just that you're spending money on your business.
These fucking roundabouts. A couple are all right, but this is starting to get a little ridiculous.
If you look, the road off to the right
Okay.
is called Road 4.
Road 4 south.
No, it's Road 4. You're headed south. So is that way Road 4?
I always feel like I'm going to see somebody coming in the wrong way too. Right? Like, I don't know why. I feel like that's going to be my downfall when it comes to these roundabouts. Somebody's going to get in it backwards. I'm going to be looking the wrong way. I feel like it's too confusing for other drivers.
See, we did this, was it 2 months ago?
6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks. Well, we'll call it 2 months. Why not?
We drove up here and then drove back.
Yeah.
And then went to the dispensary.
Same day. Same day. It was a long day. We spent like an hour up there, maybe.
Yeah.
And we just turned around, drove back, stopped at a couple places to get food.
I don't even know how long we spent up there.
An hour, maybe 2. It took probably as long to get there as we did actually there. But we just wanted to see it. It had to be feasible to get to. And
This is something that's called Naked. I think it's a strip club.
no, I do not. It's probably like a farmer's market or something like that.
All organic farmers market.
Yeah, something
That'd
dumb.
be fun.
Probably not all organic. Probably just a farmer's market. They do a lot of that kind of crap out here. It's basically like a swap meet. The whole town comes together. Everybody buys their crappy little craps. Sometimes you get some out-of-towners coming through. What is it?
Traffic calming.
Another one?
This is a stop line.
Oh, I see it.
Road 1. You think there's a 0? You think it's going to start with a negative? Oh, you think they're going to go to avenues? I like the idea of negatives. I guess we're about to find out.
North.
All right.
Over here, center.
Center Street. Okay.
That would be the 0.
I like center more than I like 0. 0 Street. Hardcore.
Parkour.
0 cool.
We've entered Cougar Country.
Chino Valley, Cougar Country. All right. Hey, there's that New Mexico we saw. Stopped on the side of the highway miles ago. I think, and I speak for everybody here, that people that stop on the side of the highway deserve everything they get. And
Whoa.
let me finish.
Okay.
The only people I feel bad for are the people that are inconvenienced by it.
Okay.
Road 1 North, you called it. And I stand by that 100%.
Wait. So you could be traveling south on Road 1 North.
This is the first
That
road
would be-
north of center.
That would be really confusing.
And no, you'd be going east or west.
Oh.
That's east or west.
It's still confusing.
Well, we are now north of center.
All right. I feel like I'm always pretty north of center, to be honest with you.
Let's go south of center.
I would say you're pretty south of center.
No. Because I'm into more like social welfare programs than I am like look at this place closed every time we come by. Oh, it's open. Don't eat there.
It was fine.
No, it was great. I pulled up too far and blocked the thing, and the woman gave me a hard time about it, and she hurt my feelings. So I left him a bad review, and I'm going to openly discourage people from going there because she called me out for my dumb parking.
Tattoo and body piercing? Vape NATO?
All right. There's not a lot out here, but they got a craft beer attached to their Vape NATO tattoo parlor. So, I mean, you really that whole little block that's like all punk or whatever.
Tattoo
Block.
on one corner, vape NATO on the other.
Also, like KV's skillet breakfasts. Like,
You know what they like?
that mixed in with the
Everybody
rest
likes a nice skillet.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes a nice skillet. You think this town even has a name?
I think it's just cheating it out.
Unincorporated Prescott. This looks. I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. This looks religious as shit.
That's a big church right there.
Alright.
Right next to a CBD connection.
I was just saying there's another
That was
roundabout.
study place?
Just keep it up, would you?
That CBD place?
CBD places are weird. So you think they're just fronts and they sell weed?
No, they sell CBD, which
Yeah, but who's gonna buy that shit?
a lot of fucking people buy that shit.
For what?
Supposedly it helps with pain. I don't know if it's placebo or if it actually works, but
Not enough.
I've heard many people swear by it.
Alright, I'm seeing some flashing lights up ahead. Well, there you go, New Mexico. If you're so great, why do you keep getting stuck behind me? Why do you have to drive so recklessly to get in front?
Great. The land of enchantment.
That is bullshit. I've been to New Mexico,
Yeah.
north and south.
Kind of a shithole.
It was a bull-face ass lie. I've been through the two biggest cities, and they're both fucking jokes.
That's what their motto is.
Blech. It does say land of enchantment.
Random enchantment?
Land of
Oh,
Enchantment.
okay.
Have you ever watched that Breaking Bad? And it's like whatever they're doing, it's the one thing, right? So if they're at some place, it's the one place, the one dentist's office, the one McDonald's. You come over the hill to like drive through the valley. That is Albuquerque, right? That's like their big city, and it's like two roads that go like across the highway. It's like, fuck. You can see the whole thing. It's like, shit. It's what, a dozen people that are well-to-do down there? Everybody's broke as a fucking
This
joke.
jackass couldn't pull off the road or what?
Well, it's kind of strange.
Oh, pulled really far off the road.
Cops are on the wrong side of the road. That seems strange.
No, they pulled really far off the road.
Oh, I see.
I don't think he pulled off.
I think somebody was making a left from this lane.
I think he did something dumb shit and ended up down there. And that's why the cop is there.
Cop's like, do you know why I pulled you over, boy?
Well, it looks like there might be a few vehicles involved. All right, well. Now that we're done fucking rubbernecking.
In a quarter mile, at the traffic circle, take the second exit and stay on State Highway 89 North.
Okay.
Buy a bunch of logs. Put a cabin out here.
Taking up 3 logs at a time.
Exit the traffic circle onto State Highway 89 North. Continue on State Highway 89 North for 33 miles.
Boom. Home stretch.
Steak.
All right. I saw some black ones.
Extra raw. Extra rare.
Here's where you start running into some land. Because you're on the other side of Prescott from here. Which means Prescott's like your big town. Prescott's not that big. Prescott Valley, all of them together aren't that big. But you get some cheap ass land up here.
Oh, we did.
We're even farther out than this. We're on the other side of this. But yeah, you're right. This was probably not the cheapest land we could afford, because I've seen smaller lots up for more, but we got a good size amount of land, 40 acres. It's the best price on 40 acres we're going to get, especially one you can literally get to.
Terrible prices. Don't move to Arizona.
I'm begging people to move out to this area. We're banking on the fact that fucking Williams and Ashfork area are going to blow up over the next 10 years. Because we own 40 acres. Imagine being able to sell half of it and make $1 million or something. Who knows? That's the dream. It's like, imagine getting to buy into North Scottsdale, you know, before they start building there. Sit on this for 10 years.
Like my grandfather.
Yeah.
did.
The stories of my grandparents, of everybody's grandparents, and their blown-ass opportunities, and then how their kids,
Short-sightedness.
our parents, boomers, even fucked up what they had, so that like we're gonna retire, we're gonna get debt when our parents die. You know, that's like what we get out of it.
What's going to be funny is Jackie's going to be bitching about you not
No,
investing in Bitcoin when you had the chance.
I mean that's true.
Well, yeah. I mean,
We could have bought Bitcoin when it came out.
Could have bought it for less than a couple.
We could have been mining it ourselves this whole time.
from high school, since high school.
Yeah, so we could have been getting it for free. The cost of power and components.
And you could get a lot more. Like when Bitcoin first started, you could mine for a couple of weeks and end up with several Bitcoins.
Yeah, that's, oh my
Before the
God.
market crashed, that was like $30,000 or something like that. Or like $10,000 a coin.
So yeah, that's
Got
true.
up to 60, 70,000.
You know, since last April, it's down almost half. And that was last April. I don't know what it was high at last April. That was the last time. That was the highest it was, and it's down almost half since then.
Bitcoin's on the list of things to do if you ever go back in time.
I wouldn't bother with that. I would have just go and win one of those $1 billion Powerballs.
You have the numbers memorized?
I would if I could go back in time.
That's assuming you know you're about to go back in time.
Yes, that is very true. But you'd make the assumption that if you're going back in time, you're doing it on purpose.
Well,
I'm going to make that assumption. I'd like write it down on my arm and then go back to like one day to right before the
Nick's
time.
Quantum Leap version better. He doesn't know where he's going. He just fucking disappears.
When or where, you just show up in time.
unless you have a way to go back in time.
Yeah, like some sort of machine or something.
You have to assume
Some
that
sort of-
any time travel you do is going to be involuntary and not under your control.
Okay, well, I'm going to make the assumption that if I'm time traveling, I am doing it voluntarily under my control.
Once you figure out how to time travel,
Exactly.
you make that assumption.
Exactly. You nailed it right on the head. So then I would write the numbers on my arm, and I would go back a day, and I would like,
So you'd be screwed if you went to sleep tonight and woke up in, say, 1990 tomorrow.
no, I don't think so. Then I could invest in Bitcoin.
Or an Apple.
Or
That was a
Apple.
good choice. It was at $1 a share at one point.
I'm sure I can find a couple of things.
Or Dell or Microsoft. Even in the 90s, imagine how much you'd be making now.
It wouldn't have the same margins because you wouldn't have
It
the same
doesn't
amount of money.
matter. With how many times the market is split on either of those.
Well, yeah, but the way I would go right now, based on like the times that I would have money, is because you can get the most shares for the least amount of money, and it'll experience the most growth.
Okay. Or Amazon.
Amazon's not a bad one. It started high, but it also gained a lot. So if you come up with enough money to buy a good amount of
It's also
shares,
split a ton.
well, yeah, if you come up with enough money to buy a good amount of shares, Amazon would be a fantastic choice.
I thought it was $5 worth of share when it came out.
I think it was more than that. When it went public,
This would be something to you Google as, but we don't have a good service. Sorry. Too bad. Recording right now or no?
Yeah, I just turned it on. Some sort of outside the road stuff, so people could get an idea of the forest we're driving up into, basically.
Yeah, but this isn't like our forest.
Well, it's the start of it. We're on the backside of where we're going to be. So we're high, not only higher up in elevation, but farther west, but just a tad though. So we're almost directly behind the property right now. So we go like this to get to Ash Fork, and then we go like this. The property's like right here.
And there's snow on that mountain up there.
There's still snow at the higher elevation. It stormed up just the last couple days. Maybe not really stormed, but it dropped from a 25% to 10% precipitation for the Ash Fork area. In layman's terms, about 10% of Ash Fork in the surrounding area will have rain. Looks like there might be a little bit going on up there right now. It's a little farther east than we're going to be, though. This fucking cement farm out here, Jesus Christ, like an alien city. I've actually driven closer to it. I think I've come up on the other side when we were doing a Schlegman run, and when you get close to it, it's mind-boggling the scale of the fucking thing. It's like a skyscraper. It's crazy.
40K type scale.
Yeah, it's huge. I don't understand what the fuck it is. Do they like put powder in it? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Why is it so tall? It's fucking concrete. Why do you have to lift concrete in the air at all? That seems so counterintuitive. Maybe there's a lot of heat generated. I just don't know.
What is it called? Hydrophilic? Is that what the lime is? Where they super heat it to dry it
It's definitely phallic as shit.
and make it super thirsty? I think that's what it's called.
Magnets, man. How do they work? At least we're going a good clip. We've already been passed twice. I like that. I guess I'm not going that fast now that I look at it. Definitely hanging about 10 miles an hour lower than I'd normally be driving. Just because we're so loaded down. No point in pushing it. We're getting pretty green.
Yeah, it is a nice change from the desert.
It's getting pretty cool up here too. It's supposed to get down to 31 degrees tonight. It's a far cry from the 90
That's nice.
it was getting up in the valley.
That's nice.
Yeah, there's a chill to the air, huh?
Yeah. You put your arm against the windows. Nice and chill.
Yeah. We can see snow. It's kind of late in the year. You think Arizona, you wouldn't be halfway through April and still able to see snow. We're not even that high yet either. Well, I guess what, probably 5,000 feet? Maybe. Something I like in Hawaii is every 500 feet an elevation change, they have a sign. So when you're driving down the road, it's so funny. It's like every half a mile, you're like, 500 feet, 500 feet, 500 feet, up, down, up, down.
It's like 500,000, 500,000.
Yeah.
Is that for tsunamis?
No. I think that's just something they do out there for their roads. Because they also have elevation.
Get above 1,000 feet?
Well, yeah, but if you see the island, they're giant cones. Because the top of the mountains are literally covered with snow all year long. So, they're that high. So most of the waterfront, it's just a little bit down
That's a neat little
at the bottom. Yeah, we're getting into some serious valleys and stuff now. That was pretty serious, probably 100 feet deep, if not more. So, I mean, we're getting into it. You can see how green it's getting. These are like juniper. It's basically all I'm seeing.
Yeah, we haven't got to the dwarf pine. Is that what it's called?
Well, there's a bunch of different ones. That's what I call it.
But that's up a little bit higher than this.
Yeah, we're actually at one of the highest points of elevation in the area. So we're on our property is actually one of the highest points around. You can see Williams Mountain, which is the highest Williams Peak. I forget what it's called.
That's the one with the snow on it.
Yeah, that's the mountain you can see. And then I think there's another peak, but it's like 10 miles away. You can see that too, obviously, because you're so high. We're 17 miles from Ash Fork. That's on the other side of this Prescott Forest, closer to where we are. I think the first time we went off, we were actually pretty close, because we were only a few miles from Ash Fork. Probably maybe 7 miles from Ash Fork, roughly 10 miles, 7 to 10 miles, where we hopped off the first time to get to the property. So we're almost right there. And I gotta say, I do like this ride up. We haven't had any issues at all.
It seems like it's a much easier drive than our old campsite.
It's definitely it's almost exactly the same elevation. But
as far as
oh yeah, the mountain,
the road.
yeah, you're definitely correct. This is definitely a lot more gradual, a lot easier on the truck. It's coming up, they call it the B line, the 87 that goes from Phoenix to Payson. That goes through a lot of elevation change really quick. You actually go over two separate mountains before you get to Prescott, to Payson. And the elevation change is like 7,000 feet, 6,000 feet, something like that. And most of it happens, one stretch at the end. It's crazy. I would love to own land up on the rim. The Mogollon Rim. The Mogollon Rim. Couldn't afford it.
That's all super expensive.
Yeah. Especially, like, you know, again, 40 acres. That is no small amount of land by any means. If you're from Arizona, it's the same square footage as this Phoenix Zoo, which is one of the larger zoos in the country. Larger, not largest. And I'm comparing that with absolutely no idea. So I'm just saying it, but it's a big one. It's 40 acres. So you can imagine how big that is. It's a big 40 acres. Actually looks like we might be coming up on a little rain ourselves. Those clouds are looking mighty dark.
They're just carrying moisture to Flagstaff anyways.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's all crashing onto the Williams Peak. So we could watch it from where we're at, but we don't have to deal with it. So the only concern about the way we're coming in this time is right at the front, it's front loaded with some hazard. And that hazard is some wash, a wash, pretty big thoroughfare for water if the conditions are right. So it hasn't really rained in a couple of weeks, so there shouldn't be any issues, but I have fear that if it's raining when you go up, you might run into some trouble on this route. Part of qualifying for the loan is we had to get it appraised, and the appraiser couldn't get to the land because, like I said, we decided to do this in the worst time of year during the melt, and he tried to get into the property 2 times from the north way, the way we're going, and he couldn't get in either time because of the wash. There's too much water, and I don't blame him one bit. And so we may find when we go in now that the road may be barred by that wash, and we all have to turn around and go back the other way. I know we can make it, and it'll be definitely a lot easier this time because the roads won't be mud and ice like they were last time, but I'm really hoping we don't have to because there was a couple of tough spots. Like I said, we're kind of loaded down quite a bit.
Yeah.
We had to make some calls, but we got everything for 4 guys in here, 4 big guys, and including a propane fire pit and a big, a couple of big necessities, including a big stand-up oven or stovetop, 2 burners. It's big. That's what I'm saying. So we just passed over a big body of water. I'd say it was at least 20 feet across. That's what's great about this area, is it gets a ton of rain and snow. That's why we get the pines and things that we do up there.
Yeah, if only we could like utilize and save it.
Well, we can, because we know where it flows. One of the places we're going to try to set up camp is one of the flat low spots. Because when we were walking through here on our tour, I saw some really nice spots to set up that'll keep us pretty high above the water level, but it's nice and open and flat in between some trees. It looked great. Hopefully we'll be able to give a tour. Well, I will for sure. We'll record some stuff.
That was the Hell's Canyon tank.
Oh, and see, there's a couple tanks people have already dug around us. But we were talking about digging some tanks, or what did you call that? That terrace setup or something?
Yeah, like terrace little...
Yeah, where you build different retention basins, yeah. Well, we're not there yet, but we may have to add at least one culvert ourselves to get up to the property. There's no way we're spanning that wash, but there's another part that kind of has a small dip in it where we may want to put a culvert ourselves after looking up some how-tos and it being a relatively small one. I'll try to highlight that too when and if we come across it. The thing about this route that we're going right now is we've never actually gone that way, and so I'm just basing it off of pictures and things that I've seen, Google Maps, and things along those lines. So this is a speculative route at this point. All right, we're coming up into some proper trees now. So you see how those junipers were cut back there, where they cut the bottom 5 or 6 feet off. I want to do that to a bunch of the trees around where we're going to be camping. I want to groom it and put rocks around the trees, you know, make it look nice, like some walking paths. Yeah.
I'm wholeheartedly for it, and I can
dig up some walking paths, rake it, keep it clean, so we can have, you know, maybe make some areas to put up tents.
get rid of all the cactus.
Yeah, definitely. I have some small children, and I don't want to. It's basically not feasible to have cactus everywhere with kids around. So you're definitely going to need to dig that shit up. Get rid of as much cactus, ideally on the entire property. Dig up every single cactus. Bury it, burn it, whatever. It does not matter. Make it gone. Throw it, walk it to the edge of the property, and throw it into the next one.
Boil it, mash it, stick it in the stew.
Well, it's more of a potato thing. We'll talk to Nick about it later. But, yeah. But, you know what potatoes taste like? Poor. And I can really relate to that. Like poor. Vaguely like dirt. You know it's going to be filling, but it's not going to be pleasant. Poor.
I love potatoes.
Yeah, well. I don't know if that says more about you or potatoes. I'll really give it the once over when we stop. That way we can really get it nice. So land right here, this is like grazing land. It used to be all wooded and everything, just like the other ones you've seen. But if you look at it on a map, you can see it's almost completely squared off, except for the spot between the plots. And this is where they like graze cows. There's a lot of tanks just straight dug in. It's not too bad. I would not want land like this though. We have a small section of the property that's actually like this. I would say at least a few square acres, maybe 5 acres if you're lucky. Because of the size of the property and the way it's zoned, you can have up to 80 cows for business and pleasure. That's how it's worded in the actual zoning, you know, law. And that's not a joke. It says for pleasure in there. But it's 2 per acre, so we could have up to 80 cows. And X amount of chicken and sheep and pigs, but I don't think we do all that. Plus, how many animals can you really keep for pleasure?
Yeah.
Right? None. The only thing nice about property like this is it's easily accessible by car. You can see all the torn down ass trees too. You know what? I bet we're pretty close to coming up on where we went off the road. Remember there was a left turn lane for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's coming up pretty close. So last time we came up, we went up what we're calling the back way. And that actually had a dedicated turn lane. Which was nice because we're literally on the middle of a interstate. No, what's this one called? State Route? 89? It's probably State Route. Sure. It just connects to 17. Well, I guess the 69. It connects the 89A to the 89, which is basically the connection between the 17 and the 40. Even though I think they meet up further down. On the other side of Prescott. So there you go. So on this side of Prescott. I'd look coming up the other way to see if it might be easier to hit the other entrance we want to do, but it wasn't. Okay, there it is right there.
Yep.
It's already starting to look familiar. So this mile marker 361. So this will probably be 362 up here. Exit 362, whatever road this is called. This is the back way we're calling it in.
It's called like Bullocks.
Bullocks, okay. I like that. Coming up the rear on Bullocks. The back way. And so this road, which we're assuming the other road's going to be like too, first mile's paved. Next 10 miles are just, like I said, completely flat, easy dirt roads. You can do it on a bicycle. Easy, in any car. But once you get that last mile, you start running into some trouble. And I equated it to Sycamore, which is a favorite shooting spot on the 87 right outside of Phoenix. And it's got some pretty rough roads to get down to the actual creek, Sycamore Creek. And so the back way wasn't as bad as Sycamore Creek was. So I know like a small Subaru could make it down coming up the back way. You just couldn't get a regular conventional sedan or something up there. It wouldn't have the ground clearance, I feel. So we basically did the ride from Prescott Valley to Ash Fork, because I can see what looks like we're meeting up with an Ash Fork up here. Just recorded the whole thing. So not too bad.
Nice.
So here we are, the Calibaba National Forest. Is that what we back up to? I thought it was the Prescott Forest.
I think it is Prescott. I don't know why.
Fucking racist, Calibaba. The fuck? And the 40Ds. Alright, looks like we're coming into speed trap territory for Ash Fork. It means we're coming up on the town proper. Village? The village proper? There's not a lot to Ash Fork proper. We took a quick U-ey into Ash Fork last time we were here, and there's not much. One road supposedly that goes down and around and comes back up the other way. Supposedly.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto the ramp to I-40 West.
Okay, so that's us. So there's Ash Fork. You'll see it when we make this left up here. Huh. No stop signs or street lights or even a roundabout, huh?
Turn left onto the ramp to I-40 West.
Alright. You'd hope so.
They have to stop.
This doesn't look like a freeway entrance.
Continue on I-40 West for 6 miles.
Alright. What's the name of the road?
Purple Heart Trail.
Purple Heart Trail. So we'll be getting off at Purple Heart Trail. I'll actually stop it and then start it again so we can have that.
Oh, I thought you meant that we're on right now.
No, okay. I thought this is the 40 that we're on right now.
That's what's called. This section of the 40 apparently is Purple Heart Trail.
No. What's the name of the road we're going to be getting off?
Arizona Road.
That's the name of the exit?
Exit 139.
Okay. Might not even have a name. We're in that part. We already did Road 1 or whatever.
Road 1 South and Road 1 North.
Yeah, we actually had nice cell service the whole time. Okay, here's Ash Fork, 144. The only place with service is for the next 22 miles, which is probably the next town over, Slegman. So Slegman's the next town over this way. We're going west. So 22 miles from Slegman, which is the next place that has service. Ash Fork's claim to fame is they are the, what was it called? Slab? No. Slate. They are the slate capital of America. We're getting grinded up on by a semi who's actually going around me. All right, I'm not going to fight this. He's a lot bigger than me. Just don't hurt me.
Very slowly overtaking you.
Yeah? Pretty quick for a semi. I feel almost like I've done something wrong. I like to make fun of the people that semis drive past. You know, like, oh, you know, I used to drive in such a big vehicle. Is it wrong that I wanted to honk at that guy? Schlegman, 22 miles.
Let's go nap there.
Alright. Well, it was a very scenic drive. Very scenic drive. It's pretty flat up here. So if you look that way, right, to our left, south, whatever, that way, you see the highest point over there that you can see? We're probably on the other side of that and higher. That's probably the hill we can see. When you get up on top and you look and there's like 10 miles away or whatever, one that's a little bit higher.
All right.
That's probably that right there. And this actually has a bridge over or under. I forget where we're getting off. It actually has a dedicated.
From my understanding, you should be able to go online and get basically 3D models of ground mapping radar of most of them.
Okay.
Like the U.S. especially. So get our chunk of land
Mm-hmm.
and then 3D print it.
Okay. Have like a big board and you like move pieces
Yeah.
around. It's all like true scale. So 139? Crookton. Okay. Booyah.
Somebody else did that. They mapped out the.
In 2 miles, take exit 139 toward historic Route 66, West Old 66.
So it's just all the mountains surrounding Tucson. Nice.
So this, the 40, this goes through Kingman to California.
Print those out.
So this is all the cross-country travel that's not along the border. Right? That's why there's so many semis fucking flying down the road. There's the second one I'm about to be passed by. I'm just saying, you don't see that a lot these days.
Well, they're not going to slow down for you. That just costs them way too much momentum.
Well, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just driving too slow.
That's why semis pass me, because they don't want to lose their momentum.
Well, to be fair, you don't do a lot of driving, so.
Yeah, I do more than you, so it might not be a lot, but yeah, you beat.
Something flapping.
It looks like the tarp we used to cover everything is ripping it.
In half a mile, take exit 139 toward historic Route 66, West Old 66.
So yeah, that was good timing. Well, we're actually about to get off the freeway right here.
Let's just drive till we get there.
Take exit 139, then turn left onto historic Route 66.
66.
Historic Route 66. With police already here.
66.
That's the only claim to fame that this whole town has.
It used to
This
be.
whole
Turn
area.
left onto historic Route 66, West Old 66, then continue straight.
So what do you do?
Huh? Yeah, you see this bridge right here? So we go this way. You follow me? Okay.
Continue straight.
Right by that cop, huh?
We're going to drive right past him.
Dead end.
Continue for 3/4 of a mile.
We don't even go 3/4 of a mile down. You see where those trucks are parked? Right over there. You see where those cars are parked? Over there on the right? That's basically where we're going. And then you see how there's like a road or something that way? That's where we're going.
Think you got that fucking police loaded?
I do actually. But we'll save that for the way out.
I wonder what this dude was doing.
He's from Florida, probably speeding, maybe littering. Looks like some crackheads.
Well, she was from Florida,
Yep.
so there's a good chance.
All right, so coming up here on the right is where we'll get off the freeway
On Arizona Road.
onto Arizona Road. So I guess this is probably like the
In a
access
quarter
road
mile, turn right onto Arizona Road.
for
3/4 of a mile.
for the road. And I don't know what all these cars are here. When I was looking at it on Google Earth, it was the same thing. There was a
Maybe
bunch
they
of cars
couldn't
back
make it
here.
up, but they needed a vehicle to drive.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of D-bikers
Take the
here.
next right onto Arizona Road.
No non-land owner ATVs.
All right. So let's start. All right. So now we've pulled off of the highway onto what we're calling the top way in to the property. The proper way. And so as the pin gets dropped onto the property proper,
Continue on Arizona Road for 2 miles.
hopefully we can just take Arizona Road the whole way. Yeah. So we just have, the only reason we still have the navigation on is to make sure I don't drift improperly across, take a wrong left at a fork or something. And so I think we can actually see it from here. So you see that valley over there? That road way up that goes in between those two hills over there? I think that's us. You see the one I'm talking about, Nick? That's us right there. I'm making the assumption now. I'm calling it because that looks like about 10 miles.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that we go to the right of that weird little witch's cliff over there.
We may, and then hook around up.
Yeah.
Because the road coming in, while it does seem a bit rough, we just passed the car coming out. And while it's a little rough as far as vibration wise, there's no big divots or ruts. Easily anything accessible by car. Even though the other way in is a lot smoother.
Yeah.
We were already having our first branch here.
The straighter one.
The straighter one. So the one in the middle?
Left.
Okay. Alright. And this is where you start to get into it. As you can see here, with this truck coming up the other way, we're actually getting into, the first fork in the road. Alright, nothing too rough here. Well marked. It might be a little trickier coming in a car, but I don't see anything undoable yet.
More specifically, a trailer.
Yeah, we could have done this with a trailer. We would just have to go really slow. But again, we're right at the beginning. So it's the last mile that's really the big one.
Maybe. I don't know. It might be
It's
totally
true.
different than
I
the way
could-
we took last
Yep.
time.
I'm just making the assumption based off the last time. But you are 100% correct. You are 100%
Tempted.
correct. I'm trying not to swerve around too much. The problem is the boy racer wants to run. And that's actually both. Me and the truck. What's up, Dan?
Trying to grab my drink.
So it doesn't spill everywhere?
Yes.
I'm not too worried about it.
It's lemonaded. So.
We got to save it for Leon. He needs it for his drinks.
Beware the dog. Private property.
There probably is once you get closer. So
You have to have a sign so that you can trespass.
you don't want him to trespass. You just want to warn the dogs when he gets them first.
Well, it wouldn't be legal to trespass someone and actually have to be able to legally have the cops go on the car.
Yeah.
You have to tell them to get off first.
You also have that sign.
The sign replaces the telling them to get off.
split up off of the fucking
Yep,
chips.
I got it.
There we go.
Easy with your elbow on my chips.
I'm holding
just
them in
saying.
place. I'm holding them in place, not smashing them. I don't want them to get messed up. Well, I did give you a lot of trouble about the chips. I'll probably have at least a couple handfuls, yeah.
Just like you may bitch about the Jägermeister, but just drink half that bottle.
Oh, Jaeger.
Oh, it's so gross.
And then once the shots start
more
flowing.
shots.
We'll drink half that bottle.
Easy. Easy.
Hey, I do have an orange flavored energy drink.
I'm not too big on energy drinks personally.
But it's orange flavored.
Okay. So you're thinking, call some sort of sunrise?
No, it's still gonna. Whoa,
Because
because
then-
it keeps you awake.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
So-
Or the sundowner.
Well, you said it's orange, right?
Yeah.
BP Sunrise.
Call it a good morning.
The good morning drink. We start with a quarter stick of butter.
Pretty sure there's an orange 2-liter of something in there.
There's an orange 2
Oh, yeah,
liter,
there's crush.
and we got some orange, some sort of orange liqueur.
Orange Caraco.
I don't remember what it was called. Caraco? Carousel? I forget, something like that. We got an idea for a drink. I don't want to spoil too much,
Nope.
but it's a good one. It's a good one.
It's like open, what do they call it? Grazing?
Unless you got it fenced in or something like that, I think it is exactly like you said. I'm not sure if open grazing was the right term, but something to that effect.
Pretty much, yeah.
Open range, something. See, it obviously, just like everything else in this workaday world, they have a very specific. Yeah, exactly.
Good?
Yeah, I'm just making sure the camera is going good. I want it to be good. If it focuses on the wrong part or something, then nobody will be able to see.
So-
And I don't want to make it 20 minutes of recording that nobody's going to be able to watch.
The road getting in, the airway neck, a whole lot nicer.
Oh, yeah.
Jake could have probably been going like 45, 50 miles per hour on the other road.
Maybe not.
Or a
Well,
good
I bet you I was probably doing 40 at least in some parts.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Up until a point.
Yeah, well, because, you know,
Super great.
it's super graded. I couldn't believe it. It was freshly dug. Most of it, 10 miles of it were like fresh. Like I said, like we were a day behind the fucking backhoe or whatever, you know? Like they just cut those roads out. And even though it was raining and hailing and there was snow and mud, like I said, 11 miles, no problems. Any car could make it. Just that last mile. It's definitely a lot nicer than these roads. And even right now, this isn't bad, but the other roads, shit.
So nice.
Yeah, we're way nicer than this. And, oh, it's California plates. Don't wave. Oh, he's got a dirt bike, too.
Turn left to stay on Arizona Road.
D-bikers.
I'm sure the people watching the person watching the BP channel knows of our hatred for
Take the next left to stay on Arizona Road.
It's only sensible.
Huh?
I said it's only sensible.
Well, here's the overlap that we have with D-bikers. Is we're not like gun nuts. We're not even probably avid gun owners, except for maybe Nick. But, you know, I own a few guns, and I like to go shooting. But we have this problem where everywhere we go shooting overlaps with dirt bikers, dirt bike trails, those little ATVs, off-road buggies, you know, all that crap. And those people, they think they own the fucking wilderness. And they'll come, even though they know we're shooting, wrong way down the range, it's clearly marked for shooting only, but oh my god, they drive around like they fucking own the place, kicking up dust. So they'll drive by you on purpose just to get you covered with dust. I fucking hate it. It drives me insane. I'm putting up all kinds of signs. Oh, I'm not allowed to put up signs.
What?
Well, because we don't want to cause a lot of hatred and stuff. and make people angry when we're not around. Because I wanted to get some no D-biker signs made up. And, you know, that might cause some ire with some fucking blokes, some goddamn hillbillies driving past our property. Look at these city boys with their no D-bikers fucking signs, whatever that means. Because they're too stupid to put it together. Because they're rural and D-bikers. And the thing about D-bikers too, and it's them driving the wrong way down the shooting range, is they have no regard for their own fucking safety. I can't tell you how many fucking D-bikers I've seen without a helmet. It's like, and driving off trail, and it's like, that's a big no-no. Oh my God.
With kids.
Yeah, kids hanging onto the back and they're fucking jumping over the road, like driving where you're not even supposed to be. Specifically, it says you're not supposed to drive through there, so you don't fuck up the wilderness. Stay on the trails. Not fucking D-bikers, man.
Fucking D-bikers. I feel you, Jake. I hate them too.
Yeah.
We were going to spread my grandfather's ashes in Williams, outside of Williams, Arizona.
Yeah, we're right outside of Williams, Arizona.
This was a lot more like heavily forested.
Okay.
We couldn't get close to where we needed to get to by vehicle because they did the wilderness reclamation thing where because D-bikers had torn up so much of the wilderness, the Parks Department set these giant logs across.
Oh shit. Okay. So
just to stop it.
Here's that river crossing we were talking about.
All right, that's no joke.
This is no joke. So if there was water in here, it looks like there's a pretty solid base. I still probably wouldn't drive through it unless it was just a trickle. I can actually see water
cool
just to our right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they still have some water sitting around. Maybe we'll stop on the way back. Depending on what the road's like, maybe we'll come back a little bit and check it out. Because there's some standing water over there. Probably not the best idea. It's probably full of bugs. But...
could be.
All right, so we made it past the first hurdle, which was that right there.
Still car accessible, I'm going to say.
I would say, yeah, as long as there's no water, you could get a car in at least as far as we're going. I should have marked it on the dash so we knew how far in we were. I'd say we're probably about halfway.